Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. It's been a pretty slow few days, which is nice actually. It's been a nice little break in the game over Christmas. But New Year's Day, 1st of January, it's kicking off again. No, not resting for too long. So here we go on here we are. On Thursday, January 1st, we're planning to launch the Frosted Path event where you'll have a chance to get perfect souls for Hilvi the Rhyme Called and Yukimasa Demon of Ice. Cool. Okay, and it is the 5-star perfect souls as well. There's going to be legendary and mythical skill tomes and other stuff in there too. How do we get points? So summoning champs from shards and upgrading champions. Summoning champs from shards. I'm not sure how they word it. I'm guessing it's going to be a summon rush, not a champion chase. Yeah, I think so. And it's going to be up for 96 hours. So it starts on a Thursday, so it's 4 days, right? It's a pretty big one. I'm imagining, so today is Tuesday. I imagine tomorrow, Wednesday, we might hear what the summoning events are. I'm guessing it's going to be 4 days of Summon Rush. They could do something kind of fun. They could do something to mix it up because it is, I don't know, they could have different champions each day. So 4 days with different events on each day. That could happen, different 15x. We might see that. We might see 2 days of one event, 2 days of another. They might throw in a 2x primals or something. Like I don't know. They could do anything. And then champion training as well. Let me know, what do you think? What do you expect? I expect we'll hear tomorrow. But yeah, so 4 days of events. It's gonna be expensive. So we got 2 5-star souls in there, Hilvi and Yukimasa. Then legendary mythical stuff and other things. This is gonna be incredibly expensive. I mean, roughly speaking, it's usually around yeah, 17 sacreds to 20 for a 5-star soul. You know, it's pretty darn pricey. Depends on the path, but they tend to be pretty pricey, and there's 2 of them in there. So this could be a huge shard sink. What's interesting? Oh, I guess we should talk about which one is better. We should also talk about what's coming up next, right? So I think this is sort of the end of all the Christmassy stuff in the game, I would think, and the New Year's stuff. I think we'll probably have a new fusion kicking off, though, in a little bit, right? Yukimasa's coming to an end. I'd say we might still have a fairly quiet week next week with just a few filler events, but we'll be probably kicking into the January fusion not too long after that. Let me find out where it started in 2025. Hang on. Yeah, so this is about what I would expect. That 8th of January is when Mad Hatter kicked off. He was a very good one, and I would be expecting something similar over the next couple of months. So what is very interesting is they have obviously revealed that the new faction should be coming around like March, April sort of time. They even teased that we might get the first champion for it in January. The January fusions, I mean, looking at last year, Mad Hatter was excellent. Esme, bit more, still a good champion, generally very good, more of a progression champ. And then Fabian, who is absolutely fantastic. This mirrors, it's basically Community Weeks events. This mirrors, well, actually, no, sorry, he's not the Community Weeks event champion, is he? Hang on, if we look at 2024, we had Armand's. Actually, so yeah, it is. It's Wixwell's Community Weeks. Sorry, I'm mistaken. So it's the May that was Community Weeks. What was that for 2025? Getting my head straight here. Ishiyama, was it Ishiyama? That's quite odd. No, maybe there was. Yeah, maybe he was. I guess they gave us a free login champion, right? It was the Udex Artor, so they did a free one. Whereas Wixwell was Community Weeks for the previous year. He was a fusion. Anyway, I think what is key, and this would be my expectation for sure, is that the March fusion, we've had Armands in March 2024. We've had Fabian in March 2025. Now, this is a new trend. There's only been 2 years of it, but I am expecting that we'll see a really strong PvP champion that will basically define the entire meta in March. Is a pretty safe bet. They could drop it for the new faction as well, maybe. Or we could be waiting a good bit longer for a fusion from the new faction. That could happen too. Could be waiting a few months. Not sure. But yeah, yeah, so like this is the first champion that's been revealed. So this guy, he's from the new faction, is supposed to be coming in January, potentially. It's all pretty, we heard about this months ago, so they could have changed stuff slightly, but they said that the first champ from the faction in January, and then the proper faction release would be in March, which is a bit weird. Is it gonna be a one champion faction or something? Or like I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but around March, their anniversary. So yeah, either we see this guy potentially as a January fusion and be pretty hype, start the new year with a new with fusion from a new faction. He wouldn't be a login champion because we still have Xenomorph. He could be added in just as a shard event as well, like who the heck knows? But yeah, that's sort of my expectation for January. We might see this guy. I think that it's reasonable enough to expect a pretty good fusion. Mad Hatter was excellent. Uh, Zinogre Blade Master, they were both event champions, actually. We had it on core. Like, this was a heck of a run start. I mean, gosh, 2024. All the fusions have been honestly really solid. You've got some weaker ones in there for sure. Like Ishiyama, Lysanthier is a bit of a dud back to back, I would say. But generally, they're very good. So that'd be the main thing. I would say, okay, big shard event coming up for these souls, but do bear in mind, expect a pretty good January fusion. It could be a champ from the new faction, and then probably the new faction dropping around March. That might tie in to a really powerful March fusion, or we might get a fusion for the new faction later on in the year, but it will be dropping anyway around there probably. I would definitely expect a very strong March fusion. If you were to place a bet on who the strongest fusion of the year would be, March is pretty much the safest bet at the moment, following Fabian and Armand's. Like, yeah, so preparing for March, but January's been pretty good the last couple of years too, so we'll see. So don't necessarily waste all your shards and have none left for a fusion. But the souls for these champions are very powerful. Who is better though, Yukimasa or Hilvi? Which one is better? Let's say you've got both, but you could only get the soul for one. Who would you choose? For me, I would say Hilvi would be better. I think she's a better champion overall, particularly with Torment. Gives her a lot of longevity in the game, a lot of power. So yeah, I would be looking towards her, to be completely honest. I think she is the better of the two. For souls for her, I would say you're looking at you'd be building her probably mostly for PvP. She's got some pretty interesting options. I'm in the wrong place. She's got some pretty interesting options. So standard enough ones. Intimidating presence, okay, not too special, but decent. Lightning Cage, pretty strong if you do put her in Stone Skin. She's got block damage in her kit too. Lightning Cage is good. I think she's very solid with Temporal Chains. If you don't have that on your team already, very strong for decreasing enemy speed because she is a sort of cut in, remove buff champion. For PvE content for bosses, not Polymorph, Brimstone, but unlikely you'd use that. You're probably looking for someone else to do it, not her. She's not really attacking very much. But I do think Incinerate is an interesting option as well for PvP because she does a lot of burns. Now, she can't burn people who are under Stone Skin. She needs to freeze them, or they need to be frozen for her to burn. But still, this could add up to some decent damage. It is an intriguing option for sure. The standard safest pick is just to go Temporal Chains or Lightning Cage. But there's definitely a place for Intimidating Presence. I think there's probably going to be a place for Incinerate. There's some interesting possibilities with her, to be honest. So she's a cool one. And I think she'd really, really want the accuracy. And even the resistance would help a little bit. But the accuracy from 5-star is pretty massive for her. On top of the defensive stats, he's definitely a champion that is worth considering 6-starring at some point as well. So I think, a Reviver with turn meter boosts and 110 base speed, yeah, she has very strong potential to be like, just go first, use this for the buffs and the turn meter boost. That is a potential thing as well. So I think she's got a lot going on. She'd be the one I would prioritize the soul on. I think Yukimasa obviously benefits from the soul too. He's a damage dealer, so he really wants the 2 and the 4-star blessing for more damage. He doesn't necessarily need accuracy. He can have his stuff be irresistible if there's already crowd control out there. But if there's not crowd control out there, he does need accuracy for that. So a bit of accuracy doesn't do him any harm, far from it. Also, obviously, the blessing is going to give him some powerful defensive utility as well. So for him, you're probably considering Lightning Cage, pretty darn powerful for him. If you're running him again in Stone Skin for PvP, that's really, really good. For him, you could also consider Nature's Wrath for PvE content. That would effectively be a 15% damage boost. Not good against bosses because he can't freeze most bosses, but generally very strong. You could put him to 6-star for 6-star Crushing Rend as a possibility. Yeah, I mean, maybe Ward of the Fallen. He would hit very hard with it. I don't know. Like, yeah, so he is good with it. He would like the HP. The defense is nice. He's got terrible base defense, so the flat defense from the Blessing will help the survivability quite a lot. It would slightly lower the damage of his A3, the 3-star, but I think it's still fine. So he's pretty reasonable too. For me, I will try to get both if I can. We'll see how we're going, but it could be super expensive. I definitely put Hilvi priority 1 by a landslide, and then I'd be putting Yukimasa as still worth getting a soul for, if possible, but not quite as essential, I would say. If you don't have Hilvi, if you can afford the soul for Yukimasa, it could be great, though, especially if you're a newer player. He might be a champion you use a ton for a very long time, and getting a soul could have a pretty big impact. I think worst case, you could always buy the 1 and 2-star soul for him. Is not bad. Give him Lightning Cage. 1-star Lightning Cage is pretty good. So that's a pretty good budget option if you are either looking to get Hilvi or you're saying, nope, I don't have the resources and I want to be prepared for the fusions and stuff that's coming in the future. 2-star soul for this guy is pretty good as well. So yeah, that's sort of my take on that. We'll see the price when it goes live. We'll see if there's any shard events going alongside it. This is my shard situation right now. It's okay. 22 Sacreds is real good. I didn't pull for the 2x Void, so I've got 66. So yeah, I might. There's a decent chance I could do this easily enough, and quite possibly will. I'll see. I'm not sure if I need Yukimasa anywhere. Certainly, I can't farm stage 21 of Shadowkin, but I've beaten it. So I'm like, I could just farm stage 20 very easily. Do I need him for 21? I don't know. I don't know for sure. But yeah, and then tragically, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is when we're having these events, which is terrible. Because I want to finish this off before they add that new faction, but it might be too soon. I might not have time, but not the end of the world. There you go. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Again, I would definitely be expecting to see something about the new faction probably in the next few weeks. And certainly by March, April, we should have a new faction in the game. There's going to be loads of events and stuff to chase from that. And yeah, the fusions are pretty powerful these days. 2023 was a good bit worse. Well, I mean, even so, we had Python in January. Like, we've had pretty darn good January fusions back to back. I'd say Zenogre is the weakest one, but she's still pretty solid. She gets used a lot in Chimera. And she was a time-limited champion, so there is that. So, I mean, we've had 3 pretty desirable January fusions. Yeah, so I don't know. Be on the lookout is all we can say. Be on the lookout. Prepare yourselves. Don't go too crazy with your shards. Although a soul for Hilvi is a very good soul indeed. There you are. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.